Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nocturnal Feeding Show. We got the Doctor Awesome. We got Yo Paulie, Depths Unknown, Little Shit Fishy Mon, and Chattanooga Ed.
Hello there.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for being up here on panel with us tonight. Oh my! Oh,
I'll tell you something. That's a face only a mother could love.
sometimes I wonder.
Oh gosh.
Filling in for Rico tonight,
Um,
Wait a minute. You got to send him a tongue depressor.
huh? Oh, yeah.
nobody heard the part where I was chastising Jason for calling my plants plastic. I do not use plastic plants
Okay, there was
in
silk.
my
I'm
fish
sorry.
It's silk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Silk plant.
Unlike Jason loves his plastic plants.
Yeah. Now I'm actually.
I
gonna
do
have
use
to
them.
get some.
I use them in my bottle shark tank, and I have them in my other tank. One of my
Some tanks, they're necessary.
I have them in
And-
my quarantine tank too.
And not only does he use plastic plants, his plastic plants have blackbeard algae growing on it.
Listen, that's like the thing.
That's it. That's how you know they're real.
That's how you know it's Jason's house.
That's how you take it. To
Hey,
make
listen,
them not
I
look
got
fake.
some over in there that got some blackbeard algae on it. And the algae eaters won't even touch it.
And he has succeeded in spreading his germ to my fish room as well. He gave me some plant, I forget what it was, abuse.
Oh no, yeah.
And
Yeah.
lo and behold, there was a little tuft of blackbeard algae. And now I get it on my my sponge free filters all the time. Son
So
of
now
a
your
gun.
tank has cooties.
Yeah, no, it has Jason cooties. Yeah. He had spread his blackbeard algae to my
I'm gonna start selling it, man.
my little fish room.
You would
Yeah.
probably make
Just
some money
how-
off of it.
Just how LRB sells Mome in a bag, Jason is gonna start selling blackbeard in a bag.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna say some hellos in the participants list. We got Craig's Catfish Cave, Amisa, Bruiser, Dennis Christensen, Freaky Fish Lady, Jeff Kane, Jenny Lynn, Linda Worth, Nancy B in Tennessee, Nathan Havey, Silver Creek Aquatics, Tampa Tom, the Nano Aquarium Guy, and Whips World still didn't go to bed yet, Ed. It's your fault.
Well, I've got the piece of metal on the back for the magnet. I think it's gonna be cool, Whip.
Nice.
You want to show that again?
Yes.
I
I
mean,
was gonna use the
if that's magnetic, then
DJ
any
weld.
magnetic would work, right?
Yeah.
That's a washer, isn't it?
that is a washer. This is the magnet.
Yeah.
Right.
But if it's a super powerful magnet, so if nothing else, maybe you can actually have it on the outside of the glass.
So I was gonna say, do you think it would go through half an inch of glass, or what is it? It's usually like 3/8 or something like that. That the 150s, or is it half?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty
that's
thick.
it.
I don't know. I could add more magnets to it if you like a real magnet also. If it
Is that a zinc washer in?
a Z-Quaffa?
Yeah,
A zinc
yes,
washer.
exactly.
Zinc.
Zinc washer.
No.
Okay.
Is it stainless steel?
Yes.
Okay. That's good.
Good. It won't rust.
Oh, I never
zinc-
thought of that.
Zinc puts in some bad stuff into a tank.
Oh.
Mm.
All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, the
I just use
the zinc horse troughs. People use them for fish, and the fish don't last very well in those things.
So they're
Yeah,
galvanized,
you
right?
know-
Yeah, the galvanized zinc.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that that place sells. The tractor.
Tractor Supply.
Home
Yeah.
Depot's been selling them
Myself?
too.
Those are good if you just want to use them as a planter, raised bed or something. They're great for that. If you
What
got
do they really sell them at Tractor Supply for? Is it a
they're,
water
they're
trough?
troughs, water troughs for like livestock.
Okay.
We used to use them for concrete baths for the test cylinders.
Yeah. What about if you paint it though, like with a watertight paint or something?
Yeah,
It
that would
will
work.
be.
You'd
It'll
have
be
to-
completely coated
Yeah,
with
you got to sand the inside because there's like
Krylon.
a coating over the galvanized, and if you don't sand that all off, the paint won't stick to it.
Okay.
It'll peel
Mm.
easy.
I think that this will probably be above the water line anyway. It'll be because its pothos is growing, so this will probably be above the water line would be my guess.
Mm.
So I was hoping that he could just snap that to the back of his tank.
Well,
like
I tell you what, Ed, I would put some stone in it and test it before you to make sure that magnet's going to hold it.
Yeah, because there's going to be weight in there too. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but the water will be there too, and that'll also lighten it up.
Jason, didn't you see
Yeah.
the link I sent you from Etsy?
You're right.
People are making pothos holders out of the those 3D printers
Yeah, I've
to
seen
hang
those.
on the sides of the aquarium. It's like three of those little pots, similar to what Ed made there, but smaller,
Smaller.
and you could hang it on the side.
You still use that, Skipper?
Oh yeah, every time I do a water change,
Nice.
this diffuser gets used.
Oh, Jason made that?
Yeah, I 3D printed that.
Yeah. You never printed anything for me.
No,
Well,
I haven't.
This doesn't come in an extra small Python hose.
Kirk, it's because
made-
he won't print anything for you because you sing to him too much.
That's the main reason why he should print stuff for me.
Yeah, maybe he'll stop singing. Start now.
I got a long list of things I need to do.
No, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
And you had a whole week off and didn't do
I
nothing.
know, and all I did was play video games like a loser.
Plus, his wife probably had him doing the laundry and cooking and cleaning the house.
I did
and
cook.
stuff.
I cook. I do a lot of cooking. Oh, first of all, I like cooking. So
Yeah, sure.
and I like to. I'm not gonna say anything bad, but
you like,
I like
to
to
wash
eat.
up.
So what's the fish store you two plan on going to tomorrow?
we haven't really settled on that.
Yeah, well,
It's gonna
the
be up
ones
your
that are
way.
close
So.
to Jason probably,
Oh,
which
okay.
would be like water
Water's
edge, and what's the other one that's out that way?
Near the water's edge. What's that? Elite Menagerie.
Yes, I couldn't
Right.
remember the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
That's one you and I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might end up buying some more panda tetras if she has any. I really like those tetras. They're like tiny
Piranhas, man. They're vicious.
piranhas. Yeah. Kind of. Well, they don't really eat fish or anything, but they're very like aggressive. Like,
Okay, so they're
Almost
like,
kind of like exodons or whatever.
yeah.
yeah, they're like
Bucktooth
assassin
tetra.
snails, but they're fish. They just don't eat it.
They're
They take
aggressive
them.
little buggers.
Yeah.
But my male, which I assume is the male, he colors up really nicely though. He has like reddish color on his belly and stuff, and when he's chasing the females around. Yeah, I want to get some more. Put him in my guppy tank. Hopefully he'll eat some of them baby guppies. I know Probably just pissed a whole lot of people off, but
Take them out.
He's swimming.
Hey.
He can't get rid of these guppies. He keeps,
nobody wants them, man.
Those are the ginkgo bars. Ginga bars.
Yeah. Well, they're mixed. They're mixed with they're the ginkgos, and they're mixed with
The ginga saphuras.
antlers, black
antlers,
bar
yeah.
antlers. They're like a mutt.
Well,
They're a
just
total mutt.
bring them up to the clash.
Yeah, that's what I did that last clash, and I gave away a whole lot of them, but I couldn't catch all. It's just like it's impossible to catch them all.
Yeah.
Without like totally emptying the tank.
I told you, man. I did it twice.
Yeah, I gotta build one of them fish traps or something like what Jason did.
It was easy.
only
Just get a little bottle.
The only alternative to that is to totally empty the tank.
No, don't bother with that. Just set that little trap. Those little fry get in there all the time, and they're like.
Yeah, because you would have to take everything out of the tank and then catch
Yeah.
them. No.
I mean, it takes a little while. You got to keep checking the trap. You know what I mean? Like every hour, check it.
I got a bunch of bristlenose in there that I gotta get rid of as well. I got five coolie loaches in there, but I don't want to get rid of them. But they're impossible to catch too.
If you're going to a fish store tomorrow, bring everything you want to get rid of to the store and say, "Look, I'll trade you all of this for one of those."
It's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Skip, I was in the local at the LFS today, and I saw a Cory I've never seen before. It's called Cory Wotroy.
Whoa.
What does it look like?
Kind of like an Agassiz with a yellow spot on its head.
Do you remember how it was spelled?
Yeah, it's Wotroi. It's Corydoris breviostris wotroi. It's a nice looking fish. I was tempted, but I don't have any room for any more right now.
Time to get a new tank.
Right. I am not seeing this in the book.
In the book.
Look up BREVIROSTRIS. That's part of its scientific name.
Oh.
It says it's a lineage 9 type. That's the baby.
Nice.
Good sized fish. They're about, I guess, what's that, 1.5 inches, 2 inches?
What book is that, by the way? Identifying Corydinae catfish. Nice. By Ian Fuller and Hans
Christian Anderson?
Schnoodles.
Evers.
Dr. Anthony, do you know those guys?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's right
Dr.
there.
Anthony knows everybody.
No, not everybody.
There it is. Right there.
Oh, you got the same book?
No, this
Hey, I know that book.
bench.
Oh,
Aquarium
yeah.
Atlas.
Those are somebody was selling like those old ones at the Triple Crown.
And they weren't cheap.
No, there were some of them. I got like one of the old tropical. What is it? The Herbert Axelrod ones. The heck? Hang on, let me look.
Well, I ended up getting that book. I ordered it whenever we was at the Triple Crown because of Paul Lee.
I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad influence.
No, I like the fish books. They're hard to find.
Yeah.
I know it. Some of the fish swabs I've been at, There was a guy selling them. They were vintage, like the
We're
older
gonna talk
ones.
about hard to find books. I got this one. Apparently, everybody wants this one. South American Earth Eaters.
Huh.
This was not cheap.
Yeah,
I got this one. The
Here.
Axelrod's Mini Atlas.
That's vintage.
Yeah, that's why I got it. I used to have this when I was a kid, and it somehow got lost along the way.
The first printing on this book was 1938.
Wow, I didn't realize rod was that old.
Wow.
This is the Innis book.
I bought a really old one too. I think. Yeah, here it is.
In beautiful black and white.
This one's from was it Tropical Fish Hobbyist? But this one's like ancient.
You know how hard that would have been to identify stuff?
Yeah. Tell me what kind of cichlid that is.
A cichlid.
Yeah, it's about it.
Yeah, it's all black and white. The photos.
Yeah, the color plates are back here. These are hand tinted.
All right, what year is this one? This one
They
is.
colored it with a crayon.
There you go, Platties. Look realistic to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had this. This is, I think, the first one I ever got. The first aquarium book.
What you got in 1939?
No,
This is 1967.
No, I got the second edition. This is 1942. No, my edition is like it's the last one. It's 66.
That's when he was a teenager.
Me?
This one's 67.
Yeah. Nah.
Exotic tropical fishes.
I was 9 years old.
I like what Nathan's saying. Do they have a book titled "How to Get Your Significant Other into the Hobby," or "How to Trick Your Significant Other into Allowing You More Tanks"? I like that.
This is how you do it. When she goes in there in the room and says, "Well, how did these get in here?" I said, "I carried them up the stairs. What do you think?"
Or
shakes her head and she walks out.
Or you go to when it was the $1 per gallon sale at Petco, and you start putting them on a flat cart. She goes, "What are these for?" "I have a plan. It'll be okay."
There's ways of doing it.
Or when she says, "Where did that tank come from?" Say, "That tank was always there."
What are you talking about? I've had that for a long time.
Yeah, that's it. Where did those fish come from? Oh, they've been there forever.
Or
Whoa.
do what Shelby says. Yeah, it's called "Do What You Want and Ask for Forgiveness Later."
That's right.
That's what I do. Or you bring her down. You bring her
Shelby
down to
and
your
Grant
fish
are, they're codependent on those tanks. So
Yeah, how about it?
That's funny. They have fricatas.
Or do
in
what
there.
Shelby did and just marry somebody that likes tanks too.
There you go.
Hola, Jorge. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, gracias.
Hans Detta.
Only Oscars is here. Saw some people showing up.
Hola.
To Cali. Dennis's chat's working again.
There it is, Dennis. It's right here, 1966.
Sweet.
That was like the Bible.
Yeah, I was 2 years old.
Oh my god. I had this air pump.
Oh,
The old
Yep, I did too.
Whisper. Yep. That's
I
a
had
throwback.
a Silent Giant that was like a paint can that was filled with sand inside.
Oh yeah.
wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was before my time.
This will prove to you that Mattel used to be in the fish business. It says Metaframe Corporation, a division of Mattel.
There you go.
Wow.
So Barbie used to swim in an aquarium.
And Ken was
Barbie
fishing.
comes with the
Yeah,
fishing.
Ken was fishing.
Fish rumor, Steve, how you doing? So, Doc, do you got anything new going on this week?
Same old, same old. Still waiting for our tanks.
Still,
Still.
any word on where they're at?
They're still in Lima.
Really? Still haven't even left the city?
Haven't left the city.
What's going on?
We're getting ripped off. That's what's going on.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, they're lucky I haven't hit the lottery yet.
Yeah,
Well, Doc, you see that tank behind Skipper?
yeah.
The discus that you're sending him are going in there.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah,
sending
that's
you
what he
discus.
said.
Oh,
Yeah, because he's going to come up here and pick them up.
okay.
Oh, my, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, my God.
I thought I was sending Skipper some carp, locally caught carp.
Oh, hell, I could go to the lake about 2 miles away and just, oh, my, it's crazy. The amount of carp that's in that lake is ridiculous. You can go to, like, the marinas, right? And you go down to the boat docks, and they're all hanging out. Well, at the one marina, they sell, like, dog food for you to throw into them.
Yep.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Like the koi food or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's dog food.
No, it's dog food. It's kibble.
Yeah, it's kibble, but yeah.
It's kibble. We got
There's a fish hatchery that's around there somewhere that does that same thing. They sell bags of that stuff, but I think it is actually some sort of fish food, but
they stock the canals
It smells
here
like
with
dog
the grass carp, tetraploid. Man,
Yeah.
those things get huge. They look like freaking Loch Ness monsters when they come up to surface.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got to be at least 3 feet long, the big ones.
Mhm.
I mean, even alligators think twice about going after them.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's a restaurant in Philly, right on the border of Philly and New Jersey, and they come and feed the fish by that. I don't know what river it is, but they feed the fish with all the old bread and stuff, and you can sit right on the side outside, and you see them come up and eat the bread, and they got some huge catfish that come up and eat the bread.
Oh, really?
They're used to the restaurant feeding them.
Isn't bread bad for fish?
I don't know, but that's what they do.
I think it makes it taste better.
I'm not talking about
And
frying.
white wine.
White wine and some flour. Oh, my.
It probably is. I don't know. Scientifically.
Yeah. I know they say not to feed the bread to the birds now. Next week it'll be.
yeah, it's not good for birds. I know that. Well, well, ducks especially, or whatever, geese and stuff like that. Bread.
Why?
It's just not good for them.
Man, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you.
It's not
That's
good
right.
enough. It's not even good for you.
White
What?
Wonder Bread.
Exactly.
So, do you know it's the same reason why you don't feed rice to birds.
That's right.
They cannot pass gas.
Birds don't
And
have
rice
sphincters.
makes you gassy.
What's that?
Rice makes you gassy.
For the birds just can't do it.
Birds don't have
can't fart.
sphincters, so
Yes.
they can't control anything. It just comes out.
It just
You know-
squirts right out.
And also
Comes right out.
expands in the stomach too.
Well,
Yeah.
Don't they have
that's why
cochleas or
using
something?
rice.
No, they have cloacas, which is a common urogenital system or opening. So they only have one hole.
They got their stomach's a gizzard or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, gizzard, yeah. Don't they need, and then they need to eat like stones and stuff to like kind of help
To
break
help
things
grind
down.
food.
Or yeah, right? Isn't that what the gizzard is for? To
Yep.
hold those stones and stuff. Yeah.
So that's
Turkey
why they
gizzards,
stop
man.
throwing rice at weddings.
Yep.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So I had a hawk catch a mourning dove and dismembered it on top of my well cover. It was pretty
What?
interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Did he catch it on camera?
I got some of it, but he was kind of like hiding behind a bush, and you could see I mean, literally, the feathers were just going up in the air. He's pulling that mourning dove apart. The second time he did it on my neighbor's lawn, and there's just a big circle of feathers in the middle of the grass.
You ought to see what they do to pigeons. See it at work all the time. It's crazy. There's a circle, perfect circle. Of
Perfect
feathers.
circle. They just the pigeon was just kind of the mourning dove was kind of like just cruising along, and that hawk just went bang. Bird didn't know what hit him.
I had a falcon chasing a pigeon, and I almost got knocked out because this pigeon flew in front of me and hit the fence. This is at work. Hit the fence, dropped down, it went underneath. Well, that falcon swooped right in front of me, came up. It barely missed the fence. I was like, oh my. And let's just say it got its food. It sat there and waited for it to come out of hiding. Like, they are vicious, man.
I seen a video on YouTube of this dude that drives around in his car. He has this falcon trained, and he releases it from the car window, and it catches those not sparrows,
Starlings.
scarlet, the evasive ones that are from Europe or wherever.
Yeah, starlings.
Starlings, yeah.
Yeah, it catches them, and he says on the video that these birds that the falcon is catching are evasive or whatever.
Invasive.
Yeah.
That's
They're trying to be evasive.
Yeah.
Hopefully
What is the word? How do you pronounce it? Sorry.
invasive is
Invasive.
Invasive. No,
invaded.
Yes.
Right?
Because apparently they came in from Europe or wherever, and
Yeah, some knucklehead brought him into Central Park in New York because he wanted to make sure that all the birds that Shakespeare mentioned in his plays were in the United States. That's also why we have sparrows, the house sparrows, because he brought them over and let them go in Central Park.
dumbass.
That's
It was during
exactly
a
right.
Shakespearean festival. Yeah, they only brought in 16 starlings. That's it. And now we have billions of starlings.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that the bird that like it can mimic other bird calls and stuff like that when it whistles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
we
a
don't-
pretty cool bird.
We don't have many of those here in PA.
I don't
There's
have
a-
any down here.
There's a woman that on
In
YouTube
Jersey,
that
we had
actually
them
has
all over the
one.
place.
She has one that's like a pet, and it imitates all different types. It imitates her computer songs and all kinds of stuff when it whistles.
Yeah, we don't have. I don't see them down here at all. I mean, Jersey, they're all over the place. Here, not so much.
They must like the coastal areas then. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we have too many hawks.
Well,
We got red-tailed hawks.
I got
And
a
Cooper
lot
hawks?
of red tails. Got We also have this bird.
got
I
bald
never
eagles.
saw it till we moved down here. It's called a swift-tailed kite. It's got a big V tail. It's black and white, and it just kind of like when you see it, you're just like you stop in your tracks and you look at it.
Are those are the ones that kill other birds, right? That's basically what I think.
I don't know what it eats, but I'll tell you something. Every time they usually fly over, and like there's 2 or 3 of them that come through the neighborhood. And whenever they come through, every mockingbird in the neighborhood shoots up out of the trees and goes up after them.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I see them chasing the red-tailed hawks sometimes too.
Yeah. And then we got ospreys. They nest in the pine trees around here. So it's always fun when the fish comes out of the sky. How the hell did that get here? Then you look up and it was an osprey. It's coming down to get it.
It's crazy. We got the lake that we have here. Because of the lake, there's so many bald eagles around. A lot of nesting places, and what they do is if you're on a boat and you're boating, they have places to where you better not park. There's signs that says "Do not park in between here." These 2 signs, and it's crazy.
Wow.
We were sitting there duck hunting one year and watched all the young ones with the mother just flying around, going down and getting the fish and stuff. It was pretty cool. Oh, we got Pepin Creek Aquatics. He says, "Oh my God, Fishymon and Ed in the same stream." And he says hello to the rest of us.
Fishymon and I are buddies.
Yeah, what's so strange about that?
Yeah.
I think it's
the button and kick yourself off.
I know.
Wow.
Well,
that was it.
Tell us how you really feel, Fishymon.
Where'd he go? Oh,
Maybe
he dropped out.
He
He didn't pay his internet bill.
I got all confuffled and hit the wrong button.
Got all happy.
Come on, get happy.
Hey, Skip, did you get that video file I sent you?
Yeah, it's been sitting here the whole time.
There you go, Doc. You can get jealous.
I'm not jealous for those. They're not
Why?
wild. I like
look,
wild.
look, here they come.
do the wild ones pick on the domesticated ones and call them losers?
No.
They should.
It's a nice tank. There's blackbeard algae.
Blackbeard algae. Everybody's got to have a little something, something.
This is your tank, Paul?
Yeah, this is my discus tank.
That's a pretty nice tank, I tell you what.
It is very nice.
It's 120 gallons.
Very cool.
Is a 120 gallon 4 foot or a 6
Yeah,
foot?
it's a 4 foot. It's 4 by 2 by 2.
Nice.
Wow, that is nice.
Discus are a good fish for a tank like that. They like the mid-water swimming, right? Don't they?
Yeah, yeah. They use the whole tank. They go. They're down. Well, Doc will tell you when they go down to eat. They go down, especially when there's pellets. They go down into the gravel and they blow it up. They actually puff water at it to knock it out of the substrate. So they use the whole tank. They feed on the top. They feed on the bottom. They're all over the place.
That is the one fish I've never kept.
They're great as far as for cichlids. They're peaceful. I mean, they are going to chase. There's always going to be that little hierarchy thing. But once it's sorted out, I don't give a shit about each other. They just float around and they eat. You know, and now you see I have angelfish in there with them. So
Petroman, he breeds discus as well too, and he's moving. But he said that he already got all his discus and stuff sold. That a guy right there in Tom's River is buying them from him. He's moving to Florida.
Yeah.
start all over. You can breed them outside.
Oh, that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, but Florida, you got to acclimate them to hard water unless you get a road system, right?
Yeah, you
Well,
are.
what's his name over in Watley over in Miami? He's running off of hard water over there.
Hard water.
Yeah,
Been there.
Breeding them in hard water as well.
I don't know if breeding would be that successful in hard water. I think what like the Germans used to do is they bred them in soft water and then acclimated them to hard water.
All right.
I don't think their eggs handle hard water very well.
Doc, you bred discus, right?
Yep.
So is your water soft out there in Cali?
No, it's very hard, but I use RO water. So yeah, with harder water, the calcium causes the eggs to be less permeable, so they get fertilized less.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So you
They're
get
not hard to
smaller
keep.
hatch rates then.
Yeah. They're not hard to keep. Just keep the tanks hot. You know, that's 84. I keep it at, and just make sure you give them a good diet and water changes at least twice a month. I don't do this I don't drain the tank down and every day. I mean, that's not how I keep fish. So the water's clean. It's well fertilized. The plants in there keep the parameters stable. They're not hard.
I've always heard of beef heart with discus, but discus don't eat beef heart in the wild.
Hey Doc, do you see beef heart floating down the Amazon?
After the piranhas get to the cows, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We got gators down there too, or no?
There are caimans here. There's the black caiman, the speckled caiman. So yeah, there's some big gators here.
So maybe a beef heart.
Only Oscars.
Once in a blue moon.
On the discus, it's because they're a soft water fish. I think you'd have that issue with any fish that come from soft water with the eggs. They can't breathe. The eggs, they become less permeable. So in the harder water.
You know what? If you breed discus in hard water, the babies that survive are selected for hard water. And then if you breed them with their siblings or back to their parents, then you get, fish that are successful in hard water. So it really depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think that we fed them beef heart because it was high protein, and that they were eating probably mosquito larvae that were high protein in the rivers. And 20 years ago, it wasn't easy to get mosquitoes.
But you look at
frozen foods.
You look at domestically bred discus that eat beef heart; they're sexually maturing in a year. Wild discus mature maybe in 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So by adding all that extra protein, you're boosting up the growth, and you're making a fish that grows much faster.
Yeah, you got all the commercial breeders. They all have their own beef heart mix, but they're also keeping their fish bare bottom. They're not keeping them in a tank like I have, because you've got. That's why you have to drain those tanks almost 100% every day, because all that beef heart just stays on the bottom and it'll just rot.
Yeah, right. And all the waste from the beef heart.
I used to keep spotted Raphaels with mine.
Oh, yeah. Does that affect? Okay, how does that affect how I want to say this? Does it affect the genetics of the fish? Because it's so fast. It was grown
No.
so fast.
No, not really. No. One of the problems with beef heart is if you don't trim it well enough and you get any fat in there, the fish cannot break down that fat because
No.
that fat breaks down at a much higher temperature.
Yeah.
And that's when you get a lot of problems.
You get
If-
bloat from that.
Yeah, if you don't just clean it 100%.
I like what Anissa said. I think that's what I was kind of getting at. Does it shorten their lifespan?
It can, in the wild, they may live, well, in perfect conditions, they may live 10 years in the wild. You're probably not going to find a 10-year-old fish because they're going to get eaten, but potentially a discus can live 10, 15 years, a wild one that's healthy. If you have a 5, 6-year-old discus that's domestically bred, that's a lot. That's really an old fish then. So it may,
Interesting.
do some harm for the age of that fish.
Now, if they weren't fed with that beef heart and stuff like that, would they be still like a 10, 15-year fish in captivity?
Yeah, potentially, because they're going to grow a lot slower.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is
Right,
that these
right.
guys are getting big bucks for 5 and 6 inch fish.
Yeah, you want to speed. If you're a breeder,
Yeah, a
that's
breeder,
doing
right, I get it.
business, you want your fish to grow as fast as you can.
Yeah. High protein.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
Makes sense.
you feed them a good mix. I give them their bloodworms. They get their brine shrimp. They get a good mix of flake and pellets. That's all they need. As long as it's good quality stuff, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
You
And it's true for most
We
fish.
could probably
you know.
feed them some kind of spirulina in a pellet form or something too.
Yeah, well, you can. They go after the Hikari algae wafers. They'll go after that. But what I did is the last time I bought Skipper turned me on to Ken's Fish, and I get my frozen brine shrimp in these 2-pound boxes for like $10 more than I get one for 18 ounces. And I bought some that the brine shrimp were loaded on spirulina before
Spirulina ones, yeah, I got
they-
those too.
Right.
before they froze them. So I have those. I have the regular brine, and then I have the bloodworms, and that's what that's their
Yeah.
frozen food. And then, but I give that to all the fish, so everybody gets a little treat.
Yeah, varied diet is always the best. You
So-
know,
Well,
just like humans, we can't just survive on protein alone. We need fiber. We need carbohydrates. We need everything. You know.
And then there's
Why
always
eat
discus
macaroni?
crack. Yeah, there's the discus crack. There's freeze dried tubiflex.
Right.
They go nuts over it.
Do you just drop the cube in, or you just
I
soak
press it up
or-
on the ground. I mush it up a little bit, and then I smash it on the glass.
Hmm.
And so what I do in this tank, I'll put 3 cubes on the glass, so everybody they're not all fighting over one cube.
Yeah, one cube, right? That
And
makes sense.
it's gone. And then the other fish, like the tetras and stuff, they're all hanging out, waiting for when they're ripping the cubes apart, and then they start shooting in for the worms.
I was watching your live stream, Dr. Anthony, on when you were talking about the tubifex worms that are collected, like in Peru and stuff. How they collect them in sewers,
Sewage,
and, sewage canals.
Well, I
and
know
stuff like that.
tubifex worms there are a sewer worm. They're definitely a
Yeah.
sewer worm.
As long as they're freeze dried, there's no stink. There's nothing that can be transmitted from them. I don't care. The fish like them. I give it to them.
So when they're freeze dried, it's not a shitty situation.
Yeah.
They're probably
But yeah.
rinsed first, at least
But
once.
yeah, live ones are probably definitely not the ideal food because I'm sure they must contain a lot of parasites.
Parasites, yeah.
There's got to be a way you can get a culture that's pretty clean though, and then
Well,
keep them going.
our resident manager will purge if we get tubifex worms. I don't allow tubifex worms anymore here because of all the potential parasites, but it takes about a 4-week long process to purge everything. He'll use ProziPro, General Cure. He goes through a big long process to try to get clean tubifex
Clean
worms.
worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then can't you just culture them from there, like,
There
and
you
just
go.
keep that going?
You can, but it's difficult.
I
It's
see.
I know some people do blackworms that way, but they're not that easy to culture.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
person right in our panel that does blackworms.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I got.
But I only have a small
blackworms,
colony in a
too.
very small fish room, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If I was feeding that at scale, it wouldn't handle it.
Do you have a problem with leeches in there, Jason?
When I first got the colony, there was a leech or two. I just soaked it in cold water, and most of the leeches started crawling up while the worms all went into a ball,
Yeah.
right? So then I just pulled all the leeches out. But there was one that I missed, and I found it because I set up a time-lapse camera on my. I was doing a thing on filming the worms, and I saw this thing going, "What the heck was that?" I'm like, "Oh my god, that was a leech." So
Oh.
I pulled it out, and then I've never seen one since. And I've set up the time lapse more than once, so I'm pretty sure it's clean now. It's been like 3 years, so.
But the leeches don't actually feed on the worms or anything, do they?
I mean, maybe I don't know what leeches eat when they're not like sucking blood, but
Well, not all
There's
leeches
lots
are
of types of
blood
leeches.
true.
So they're
Yeah, just-
eating the worms.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
they're
the
eating
food that I'm
worms?
feeding the worms. Exactly. They could be eating the worms.
Yeah.
Because you always see, well, at least where I buy live blackworms from, I always seem to get leeches in with them. So
Yeah, I've
It depends on where they're
never seen
culturing them.
blackworms without leeches.
Well, I got a colony that's clean.
it
You're a
seems
good
to
Well,
man.
I mean,
leeches and blackworms when you buy them out of a pet shop.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, if you culture your own, you can get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I just meant when you buy them.
Yeah, when you buy
They're
them.
hard to find right now. Blackworms.
heard
Very, very difficult. Yeah.
I
I've
think
heard
there's 2 places actually in the country that are commercially growing them. One's in Massachusetts and one's in California. And they can't.
California, they had a bad couple of years, and they're not producing anything right now.
Okay. What, it was too cold or something for them?
I don't know what happened to their ponds, but in California, that we get them all from the California blackworms, and they're
Yeah.
not shipping anything out.
Because if they basically just dried up. I mean, no pun intended, but the supply is gone.
Yeah,
Where was it? Oh, sorry.
there's still some places that sell them, but it's like gold.
Yep. They're limited. The wholesaler that I go to occasionally in LA used to get 30 pounds of them a week, and he hasn't been able to get anything in.
I got 4 ounces of freeze-dried blackworms when I picked up when I was at my discus breeder. It's $18 for 4 ounces of freeze-dried blackworms. I mean, I do it because they as a treat to instead of the Tubiflex, but it's this stuff's not there anymore.
There was a lady at the Clash last year selling bags of them,
Yeah.
and she said she raised them all herself, and they had no leeches.
Nice.
I
Yeah, that's what
remember
I
that
should do.
day. Let's oh man.
Start ramping up.
Yeah, you should
Become
get a
the-
bigger tank for them.
I wouldn't say it needs to be a bigger tank. It's almost just more like surface. You know what would work really well? It's like those like starter trays for like plants. Like if they're only like so deep, you only need like 2 or 3 inches, really.
Yeah.
Concrete
That would-
mix barrel.
Yeah, I mean maybe. Yeah, that'd be. Probably
Um,
do that too.
Dr. Anthony, wasn't you saying that the black worms are like a somehow just a different type of tubifex worm or something like that? A different variety?
No, they're
Or are
they're
they?
a different type of worm. I mean, they're not, they're all in the same group, but yeah, it's slightly different.
Okay.
Lumbrilicus variatus.
So in the wild, do you find them like in sewers as well, or what?
You can. I mean, the California blackworms used to have them in duck ponds. So they're highly fertilized ponds. I mean, and that's not all sewage. An open sewage system is just a highly fertilized, stream or creek. It just depends on where that fertilization comes from.
Right.
Right.
I can tell you from my experience with ducks and geese, they messing the pond up.
Yeah.
Especially
If you don't have circulation in that pond, it stinks.
Yeah.
I was reading something about geese and stuff like that, and one of the biggest factors of keeping geese from showing up at a pond or a lake every year is tall grasses.
Yes.
They're instinctively afraid of tall grasses because that's how they get murdered, I guess.
And no, but they also glide into a lot of areas, and
I see.
give them that glide path to get into that pond.
So
That makes sense too, and take off too, probably.
The difference between the duck and the geese is the geese needs more surface area to come into than a duck does. So the ducks love the high grass.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the geese
don't.
they're just a much bigger bird.
Yeah.
So a lot of times if people have ponds, they'll put wires up. They'll put wires up to where, because when they come down, they see that they automatically deflect because they can't land as quick as a duck can. We got the Kenny E in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, ducks can basically fall out of the sky and land in water.
Oh yeah. Listen,
and then they start swimming around under it.
Yeah. My whole neighborhood is full of canals, the drainage canals. But what they do is we put buffers up on them to keep the Canadian geese in the canals and the alligators in the canals, because the alligators won't push through it either.
A goose will tear a pond up, and it ain't just on the outside of it neither. Because whenever they land and they just start defecating, it's terrible. But when they go into that pond, they're ripping everything up just to try some food. Whatever plants, natural vegetation's in there, they will tear it up. So if you're a waterfowl hunter and you know somebody has ponds and they get geese in there, they love you guys coming in. I'm just saying.
Or you can get a swan. Swans hate geese.
A swan will keep geese away.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure swans hate everything, in my experience.
Yeah. There was this one pond that it was Mennonites. They got they have it's a greenhouse, and they have a pond there, and they keep a swan in there just for that. I asked them one time, I said, what's that for? And they're like, oh, it keeps the geese and duck away so they don't mess the pond up. I said, okay.
I used to have swans that were down in I used to live in a cul-de-sac that had a creek down there, and there were swans that lived in that creek. And those swans, if they saw you, they would come make a beeline straight for you, get up on land, start attacking you. You know how many times I had to like sword fight a swan to get like where I was going with a stick.
Sword fight.
Yeah, like you'd pull a stick and be like, on guard.
So there's
because it's coming at you, like boom, boom.
There's a protected swan and there's not a protected swan.
Well, this was a long time ago.
Oh man, there's
the trumpeter.
The trumpeter is the one with the orange beak. The mute swan is the one with the black beak. And
Trumpeter's the big ass one.
They're the ones that they allow you to hunt. mute swan is protected.
That's the Blackfeet
And
one.
why is that?
The mute's native, the trumpet's not.
Yep,
Mm, I
exactly.
see.
How do they taste, Skipper?
Like chicken.
Face down, ass up.
Are they all dark meat like a duck?
I don't know. I never hunted swan. I don't know.
Probably. I had a buddy that had domesticated geese, and when they would be on eggs, you could not go in his yard. They would almost take to flight, chasing you out.
A lot of farmers back in the day would get geese because they would keep certain predators away. They don't care. They're crazy.
Yeah, they are absolutely crazy.
They don't care if you walk up into their area and they got babies. You better run.
I know. They will chase you.
But they want to chase you. Don't mess you up.
Yep.
So if you got a pond that has some awesome koi in it, put a swan or a goose in there. Nothing's coming in to eat them. Got some prize-winning koi fish. Get a swan.
Won't the swan eat them?
Maybe babies.
No.
Don't
No.
swans only eat
Swan,
plants?
they're vegetarians.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're vegetarians.
So there's swans are vegetarians, geese are vegetarians, but there's different types of ducks that will eat fish. If you have a pond and you get a common merganser in there, that's a duck that eat fish. A hooded merganser, which is smaller, they eat fish.
They've discovered that eggs can survive through the intestinal tracts of ducks, and that's how they think these like bodies of water get seeded with fish.
Mhm. Oh, I could tell you birds bring the fish eggs in. When nursery I was working at, we drained all the irrigation ponds because they needed to be relined. So they just pumped out all the water. There was a bunch of dead fish, stunk
Right.
to high heaven. So once it was about a month and a half before we filled them back up with water. Within 2 weeks, there was fish back in those ponds.
Jeez.
They stick to the bird's legs, the feathers.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
There was all sorts of stuff in those ponds. Within 2 weeks after we started, we filled them back up. You could
Then
see
you
all
got
the fry
stuff like
swimming in there.
walking catfish.
What's that?
That's-
You got stuff like walking catfish.
yeah, that too. When I was a kid, we there was like this old abandoned like parking lot area, and I guess a sinkhole had opened up and like the whole thing had sunk, so it was underwater, but it was like the parking lot, so you could see like the macadam going down there, and there were fish all in that. I'm like, oh my god, clearly that's not natural. But yeah,
Crazy.
Rachel O'Leary used to video this basement in Philly
oh yeah,
that was full of water, and it had what people probably obviously threw goldfish into it.
I remember seeing that video. That was crazy.
Yeah. Those goldfish didn't come from birds' feet or anything. People probably threw goldfish in there.
yeah, right.
Oh, we're going to go to this carnival, throw this ping pong ball in this goldfish bowl,
Yeah.
not realizing this thing's going to grow up to 16 inches, and that bowl does not work anymore.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's how I got koi in my goldfish pond. I never bought a koi. I got some water hyacinth at the beginning of the season, threw it in a pond. A couple of weeks later, I see koi in there because you could tell the difference between a koi and a goldfish. I'm like, where the hell they come from? It must have been some eggs in the water hyacinth roots.
That's cool.
Worked for me.
Heck yeah, free koi.
Shit, even ugly koi are like $50 a piece.
Yeah, whatever. They're still cool.
Yeah. Koi are nice. I just can't get over the prices of some of them.
Oh yeah, they get crazy.
Oh, you
But some
get
of
the good Japanese ones. You're into them for
Yo.
tens of thousands of dollars.
Did you go
Yep.
to the to that tour Rusty Wessel's place at the Triple Crown?
Yep.
Now there was some koi there, man. That was
Oh yeah.
cool. He had
He
some
turned
koi
he,
ponds.
he turned one of his. He had a swimming pool. He turned it into a koi pond.
They had definitely a bunch of like that, just the way it was landscaped. A bunch of cool koi ponds and big koi.
Oh yeah, and those turtles. What were they? What
Fly river turtles.
Fly
So
river
yeah,
turtles he
yeah,
had in there.
Those
yeah, that
are
was
awesome.
cool too.
Jason fertilized some of his trees in the backyard.
Oh Jesus!
I did not.
Thank you, Jason.
I plead the fifth. Okay.
Damn it, Kirk. All right,
I
everybody.
will not incriminate myself.
It's been an hour. I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here tonight with us, lurkers, mods, and everybody else that's been participating. I want to thank Dr. Anthony, Paulie, Fishymon, Jason, and Ed for being up here with us.
But Ed shouldn't
Ed's
talk so
blowing
much
on his
next
dollar.
time.
What's that, Doc?
What?
Ed shouldn't talk so much. I mean, none of us could get a word in edgewise with him
I
talking the
know.
whole time.
I've been painting a pirate.
But you got to tell them what that pirate used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be the Undertaker, the wrestling guy.
I was gonna say he resembles the Undertaker.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't painted the sword yet, but I will. I'm trying to figure out what color I should paint his little grenades. What color are grenades? Skipper,
Green.
you've thrown grenades in your life.
Green.
Green.
Army
Ones
green.
I-
Green.
Army
But
green.
honestly, the ones I threw whenever I was down base training Fort Benning, Georgia, they were green. Especially the ones that have the, I don't know how you say that.
Texture.
Yeah, texture. But then there's also black ones that are
Oh,
smooth.
pineapple.
Yeah, like the pineapple texture. But then
These are smooth.
Black ones are smooth. Oh, I could get in a whole
Okay.
conversation of that.
I was gonna say, what is it? Why? What's the point? I mean, I guess some are meant just to drop and other meant to throw.
Some might be smoke.
So the ones that have the pineapple texture, they will grip into the sand instead of roll.
Ah, makes sense.
Oh.
The smooth ones will they can roll and hit the target.
And you might want them to roll.
Well, that's a different scenario.
That's right.
You did something
I
new
thought-
every day.
Gotta have two of each.
Yeah.
I always thought
Happy
the
with
pineapple was
the
the.
smooth ones.
I always assume pineapple is for more shrapnel to go all over.
And they usually call ugly woman grenades too.
Why is that?
All right, I'm
on
waiting.
on that
Kirk, I'm
note,
waiting
we'll
on
see you
this.
guys later. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.